Hi people, my name is Argandios and today I'm going to talk about Shadow Priest, that specialization that nobody recognizes except if you have played Shadow Priest before Legion. Then you will recognize some parts of it and you will say, okay, this is a very improved version of pre-Legion Shadow Priest, or at least is what I think. If you think different, your opinion is as valid as mine. Okay, so let's begin with the changes. But before, well, this is a bit boring, so let's go cool. No, Dark Arthas is cool. Shadow Arthas. That's cool. Yeah, I like it. Okay, first edition, Desperate Prayer. This is the only holy edition we have. I have begged for them to give us at least Smite, because we are the only specialization in the game which has no second magical tool to use. Literally, makes have fire and frost and arcane, shamans, warlocks have fire and shadow. We don't. We only have shadow, shadow and shadow. If we are locked in shadow, why fuck? Is what it is. In any case, this is the only edition we have from Holy, so it has second damage reduction city. Okay, we have or a defensive city. Okay, we have dispersion. If we don't have dispersion, we can use Desperate Prayer. It increases our health by 25% and heals us for that same quantity. So the best moment to use it generally is or to heal ourselves or to be able to survive some kind of big damage boom that we cannot use dispersion. Okay, dispersion has 2 minutes a day now, and Desperate Prayer is 1.5 minutes. So we can alternate between those in case we. No, more changes. Power Fortitude. Now it only increases our stamina by 5%. Anyway, as all those pesky inscription scrolls have disappeared and are no more, it's not really a problem. Okay, we are not going to really miss too much, another 5%. Shadow War Death, it becomes baseline for Shadow Priest, well, for all priests in general, and it's a very great addition. Okay, little problem, it can kill us because it's not the BFA version, it's the previous version in which it does damage to us if we cannot kill our target. It means we can use it to avoid when we have a CC that is breaks with damage, like ship, for example, mage ship. We can use it just while the mage is using ship, and the damage will break the ship. So you have to have hands to use it, both to break those CCs and to not kill yourselves with it. Anyway, I can tell you, your healers are going to hate you a lot. Don't have a single doubt of it. More changes. Mind Sooth, another return. This is useful in several Mythical Plus. Okay, so I have used it with good results. There are not much places where you can use it, but there are 2 or 3 dungeons where there are a few pools you can use it to bypass them without need of use invisibility potion, shroud, or something similar. Power infusion, another spell back, damage CD, okay, damage cooldown, it increases or has by 25%. It has a problem, and is that it can be used over other players, which means other players can say, okay, you will become to my raid or my mythic plus, but you must use power infusion in my rogue friend. Okay, which you can choose if you do it or not. That's your choice. Anyway, this is outside of the global cooldown, so it's a very nice addition and have no problems with it. Shadow spells. Devouring Plague. Well, now it's time to talk about changes. Profound and bound changes. Until now, in Legion, okay, we had this mechanic. We build insanity, and when we reach 90 sanity or 60 with a talent we had, we activated our void eruption and going into void form, and then we have to keep ourselves into void form for as much time as we can. Okay, now that's all changed. We are not going to use insanity for void form anymore, and instead we are going to use insanity into devouring plague and a talent, but I will talk about it later. So we have this here. Let's win a bit of insanity. I have a challenge over there. See, 58. I haven't had on skill yet, so it's going to be a retired ward, but okay. And there it is. Devouring Plague. It does a lot of damage and it heals. Okay, it's the same Devouring Plague. Well, it's not exactly the same, but the old Shadow Priest know what it is. Okay, so instead of the old Devouring Plague, which was very clunky to use, because sincerely I feel like I was trying to use one of those old cards that you have to pump, okay, before they could start the engine and begin to move. Now we are going to use insanity. Okay, we have to charge insanity instead of 3 orbs. A mechanic I always found very obnoxious, essentially, and boring, except for the cool glyph that transforms shadow orbs into ravens. That was cool, but away from that, it was, my opinion is that it was a bit shitty. So now we create insanity with several spells and use it into devouring plagues. We can clap, okay, devouring plagues. So if we use devouring plague again after use another devouring plague, the damage will increase. Okay, so we do not lose a devouring plague damage if we launch devouring plague again. Mode changes. Mind Flay. Mind Flay now creates 18 insanity and it lasts for 4.5 seconds instead of 3 seconds, which is the duration now in live. Okay, during Shadowlands and pre-patch it will be 4.5 seconds reduced by haste. Mindset has no changes. Well, Shadow is a talent, I will talk about it later. Shadowman has an addition, but I will talk about it later. Shadow form the same, no changes. Or silence pitifully the same. Void Eruption. Okay, what have they done to Void Eruption? Because we are not anymore going into Void form to stay in Void form as much as we can, etc. They have transformed Void Eruption. It still puts it into Void form, okay? But now Void form is a different thing. I will talk about it now, okay? Right now Void Eruption works exactly the same as it is in live. Okay, it makes a lot of damage in an area, and it's an explosive blast, etc. And it activates the new Void form. New Void form. This is a damage 3. Okay, Void Eruption and Void form are now a damage 3. It lasts for 15 seconds, unless we pick a talent. We'll talk about that later. And what does it do? It increases the damage we deal in 20% to any target. Grants an additional charge of Mind Blast. So if you remember, we had a talent that was Shadow Ward Void, okay, that which gives us 2 charges of kind of Mind Blast. Okay, well, now this Void form gives us that passively. We don't need to choose a talent, nothing like that. Okay, and it refreshes the CD of Mind Blast, literally. Okay, so they have transformed Void form from being something we want to enter into and then stay the most time possible inside to a city. which is something we have created for forever, more or less. Okay, damage city, literally. And this is a talent that passive Aki Dark Thoughts. This is a new passive. If you remember, we had a talent in the level 15 row, which allows us to throw the damage of Shadow War Pain to have instant cast Mind Blast. That talent has disappeared and have transformed into this passive. Okay, which says for each of our shadow damage over time effects on the target, which are Vampiric Touch, Shadow War Pain, and Devouring Plague, we have a 3% chance to trigger a Dark Thought. A Dark Thought, what that does? It increases the number of charges of Mind Blast by 1, and Mind Blast can be cast instantly and can be cast while channeling Mind Fly or Mind Seer. So let's see if I can. I'm going to put Mind Fly here. Now that I have already talked about the changes, and let's see if I have a new change of. There you are. You see, I have a key diseliminated. Oops, I have the chart before. Let's see if I can get another. There we are. And while I was casting Mind Flay, I was able to launch Mind Blast. This gives us mobility if we need to move. Okay, it's instant, so if we need to move, we can move and launch Mind Blast. If we don't need to move, we can launch Mind Blast while we are casting Mind Flay. Not a problem. Or Mind Seer. Okay, with Mind Seer it works like a charm. You got a lot of Mind Blast. Okay, and you get a lot of chance. So, Dark Thoughts, new passive. Well, this is a passive we already have. Mastery, another change. If you remember, during Battle for Azeroth and Legion, I think, our Mastery, what does was, well, passively increase the damage of a lot of spells. A bit boring, if nothing else. Now it does a different thing. It's a new Mastery called Shadow Weaving. And what it does is that for each dot we have in our target, Vampiric Touch, Shadow War Pen, and Devouring Plague, it increases the damage we do. All the damage of whatever spell. It doesn't matter if it's Vampiric Touch, or Shadow War Pain, or Mind Blast, or Mind Flay, or Mind Seer, or whatever else. ¿De acuerdo? Alright. It increases the damage in this number here. In my case, it's at 9.7%, but it increases from 4% up. Okay, 4% is there. Shadowy apparitions, more changes. Until now, shadowy apparitions become from critics from Shadow War Pain. Now it has changed. Now, for a shadowy apparition to appear or to show up, we need to have Vampiric Touch in our target. Okay, and then we must cast Mind Blast, for example. Okay, you see here, this is one of the spells we can cast. Let's see if I can get a crit. Let's see, a crit. If you see, instead of one, there have been two shadowy apparitions. Okay, the other spells that allows us to launch shadowy apparitions are Devouring Plague and Void Bolt. Okay, while we are in Shadow and Void form, we will get that. If those spells does a crit, then we will create two shadowy apparitions instead of one. So crit will still have a bit of value. Okay, it will be less value than before, but it will still. This gives us a lot of more control over our shadowy apparitions and how they deal damage. Okay, Void Bolt, well, it does the same, no changes here. Void form, I already have talked about this. Shadowmend. it has a nice change, because when Shadowman is cast on ourselves, okay, it increases all healing we do on ourselves with our own spells by 15% for 15 seconds. It stacks up to 2 times, so up to 30%, okay, and it works with every spell that heals. That means Vampiric Touch, that means Shadow Wall Pain, Shadow Wall Shield, that means Vampiric Embrace, that means Devouring Plague. Anything that heals and comes from our own spells, well, or at least it was the last time I looked at it in the beta, okay. If they have changed it, then I have no time to react, but at least in beta it helped us with any kind of spell. So these are the changes. Let's go with talents. Let's begin with PvP talents. We have 3 new PvP talents. As we have lost several due to the change into the spec, we gain a few. Driven to Madness. Now, each time a melee hits us, it reduces the cooldown of Void Eruption by 3 seconds. I have been able to reduce the cooldown of Void Eruption from 1.5 minutes to 1 minute, approximately. Okay, it might be more, but that's what I have been able to do. My less the less time I have been able to reduce that CD has been from 1.5 minutes to 1 minute. Okay, it's an 8th edition. More void forms will give us more damage, so it's okay. This is the same. Lasting Plague or Devouring Plague will last for 6 seconds more. As you know, in PvP, well, there are columns, there are interrupts, there are things that will not allow us to use Devouring Plague as much as we want, so this take care of it. Okay, it's another nice talent, choosable, not the best probably, but it's okay. Faustel, I love this talent, what I can say. Basically, it gives to us a CC talent from any spellcaster. Okay, anything that has mana, we can steal one of their spells. And when I say steal, is steal. That is, they will not be able to use it, but we will be able to use it. So whenever we have put this, it will become the spell we steal. For example, for warlocks, it will steal their fear. For mages, it will steal the sheep. And for shamans, it will steal their frog, and so on and so on. Okay, or at least it was frog what it steals the last time. I'm not sure if they have not changed it, but is that it? Okay, so we can ship a mage or a healer or whatever. It has no diminishing returns with our own CC spells. Okay, so we can fear and then make a ship, or make a ship and then fear. Nice and easy. And we have anyone for 12 seconds out of the way, or more. Okay, I like this one a lot. It does not work in rogues or warriors or things like that, but anyway, it's a very nice spell and a very nice addition for PvP. I like it a lot. Let's go now with our normal talents. 15 row. Fortress of the Mind is the same, has no changes. No, we have lost, as I have said, the other two the talents we have seen. Level 50, we have now Death and Madness. If a target dies within 6 seconds after being struck with your Shadow Wall Death, you gain 14 sanity over 4 seconds and the cooldown of your Shadow Wall Death is reset. This is a very good talent for Mythic Plus, but is a very bad talent if you have no hands or a lot of latency, okay? Because you are going to kill yourself almost for sure. Don't worry about it. and your healers are going to hate you even more than they already did. So you have to use it very carefully. It's the best talent for Mythic Plus and for bosses with a lot of us that die fast, but you have to have a lot of hands and a good connection to use it. Unfurling Darkness. Unfurling Darkness, when we cast, this is the one you have seen already, okay? When we cast Vampire Touch, our next Vampire Touch is instant cast and it will deal a lot of damage. So I will going to use it, and as you see, it has right then here. So pop, I use it, instant cast. It have a lot of synergies with several talents here. I have Misery here, is one of the talents with it has a very good synergy, and is an amazing talent, amazing spell for several things. So how are we going to use these talents? Fortress of Mind, single target fights, no doubt about it. There is absolutely nothing that will make us choose either Death of Madness or Unfurling Darkness. Death of Madness, as I have said, if there are Mythic Plus or for fights with a lot of hats that die quickly, Death of Madness is absolutely great. If you have no hands, if your connection is bad, or if there are 2-3 bosses or ads that last a lot of time, we will use Unfurling Darkness, okay? Because it will allow us to put our dots very fast, very easy, and without have to ramp up, okay? That's one of the best things of Shadow in Shadowlands. The ramp up has been reduced like heavily a lot. And I'm very glad for it, I must say. I think they have done a very good job with Shadow Plus. It's not perfect, no, it's not perfect, I must say, but it's much better than we have when the alpha began, okay? Level 30, Twist of Fate is the same, no changes. Misery is the same, no changes. And we have a new talent, Sharing Nightmare. If you remember, here we have a talent that make a lot of damage and then put Shadow War Pain over our target, okay? Now we have here, and if you I need 55 of insanity to use it, so I'm going to generate some insanity. Okay, here we are. Now, as you see, I can hit it and I say must be channeling Mind Seer. So this is the problem of this smoke. You must be channeling Mind Seer. Okay, as long as I'm channeling, I can use it. Good. And what it does? Well, it does a lot of damage and puts Shadow War Pain into the target. Okay, I continue. Instant Mind Blast. And there we are. Okay, it does a lot of damage, I must say. There is no shame into use it. I wanted to use it while I was channeling Mind Seer, but I have failed. Come on, jump again. Well, it does not work. So when are we going to use these talents? Twist of Fate, probably the single target talent to go. Misery, if we have 2-3 mobs, or in several Mythic Plus. Mythic Plus have several dungeons where the tank is not going to pick a lot of mobs like they do in Battle for Aether, okay? They will pick 2, 3, 4. If they pick 5, they are probably already being a bit uncareful, okay? But not enough. There are several mythical plus in which there are big pools, and we can pick Sharing Nightmare perfectly without any doubt because it's very good. Okay, so Twist of Fate, Single Fate, Misery, and Sharing Nightmare for multi-target. Okay, Sharing Nightmare if there are a lot of ads, Misery if there are 2-3 bosses, and some mythic plus. Okay, level 55, no changes. Last Word, Mind Bomb, Psychic Horror. This is one of the places where I think Shadowpress still could improve. They could make Last Word make or silence in an interrupt instead of a silence, and reduce the CD of the spells a lot more. Pitifully doesn't look what they're going to do. Level 40, a lot of changes. Speed is still the same. Psychic Link, Mind Blast deals 50% of the damage to all other targets affected by your Vampiric Touch within 40 yards. So I put here Vampiric Touch, Vampiric Touch, Vampiric Touch. I use Mind Blast, and the damage is reproduced in all of these. Okay, let's go again. Hop, crit, so it does a lot of that. And then we have Shadowgrass. Shadowgrass has seen several changes too, and now well, it has 3 charges. We have a 45 second recharge if I don't remember it wrong. Okay, and well, if it hits a long target, they suffer 35 increased damage. So it's kind of okay. It's a multi-target talent, but it has some uses for single target, and basically it has no minimal distance. Okay, I cannot launch it into myself as I could do before. I have to launch it at least 5 yards. It's a bit so nauseous, but it's what it is. And okay, this talent has no cap, no target cap. Okay, is what it is. Is the reason because it is less damage and has the charges. It has no target cap, as many of the shadow area spells, no cap at all. There is no, hey, if you hit more than 5 targets, you are fucked up. No, if you hit more than 5 targets, you are going to be God, literally. So take it that thing. No, single target, Auspicious Spirits probably is going to be the best talent. Okay, Psychic Link, if we have 2 to 3 targets, probably will be the best. And Shadowgrass for when we will have well, a lot of mobs. So Mythic Plus, any of the 3 is good. I think any of the 3 can work fine. Okay, I'm not think they are going to be very far one of another. Probably Psychic Link is the one which is going to be the most difficult to use, and the one that has no use for bosses. Okay, this is okay for pools and other things, but if you are on Tyrannical, you are not going to pick Psychic Link. Definitely, you will pick Auspicious Spirits or Shadowgrass, but not Psychic Link. Okay, take that into account, because in single target this talent is absolutely not useful. This talent has a nice synergy with a legendary, but that will be in the next video, just before Shadowlands will be released, whenever it will be, and I will talk about it then. Okay, level 45, more changes. New talent, Damnation. Instantly afflict the target with Shadow Word Pain, Vampiric Touch, and Devouring Plague free of cost. And you are probably wondering, okay, and this will work with Unfortunate Angels and with Misery? Well, the answer is yes, absolutely. So I will use Damnation here. You see, it activates Unfortunate Angels, and all the 3 are dotted in a few global cities. this talent is very nice, especially if we will have some kind of mobs that well, adds of big life that we need to be down fast. Okay, this is a great talent because we do not need to ramp up before we can do damage. They simply, oh, the ad has show up. Okay, damnation, boom, and immediately we will begin to use Mind Blast or whatever else to get it down. Mind Bender has no changes at all, but it will be probably the time to go into Shadowlands because of a legendary. There's still not for sure because legendaries can be changed yet, but I'd say that Mind Bender is going to be a very good talent because of that legend. Damnation is very good for PvP too. Also, I have forgot to mention that put all your dots into a target in PvP is freaking good. No other word to talk about it. And we have Void Torrent that well, it will refresh all dots, Vampiric Touch, Shadow War Pain, and they were in Plague, all the three, and generates 13 sanity over the duration. Away from that, it's the same. 45 seconds cooldown, it does a lot of damage, but you must be still to use it, which is a big handicap. Okay, it's not a bad talent. I ran the numbers. Mind Bender at Void Torrent without the legendary, they run about the same amount of damage in the same time, so it's not really so much difference as long as you can move while you are casting Void Torrent. Okay, Void Torrent plus the almost extra Devouring Plague you can cast, and the okay, I have not to recast the dots, etc. Okay, level 50, another bunch of changes here. New talent, Ancient Madness. Both form increase your critical strike change by 50% for 15 seconds. Remember that void form lasts for 15 seconds now. So, and reduce it by 2% every second. So we begin with a lot of crit and we're going reducing it. Hungry Void, new talent. This talent shows up the previous build, and in this last build they have already changed it. So they may change it again. So okay, I will show you it, but take this into account. Okay, what this does? Okay, Void Bolt, the first Void Bolt we use, okay, will add a 10% damage to the target we have. It hits. Okay, so instead to do 20% more damage, we will do to that target a 50% more damage. If we change target, okay, we will lose the 10% in previous target and will gain the 10% in that second target. Okay, but it has a nice mechanic, so we want to use it in only one target, which is the second part. Void Bolt cast on a vulnerable target will also extend the duration of your void form by 1 second, which means void form instead of last for 15 seconds will last for 16, 17, 18, 19 seconds, whatever. Okay, and if our Void Bolt critically hits, the void form is extended by 2 seconds instead of 1 second. So if everyone critically hits, instead of 15 it will be 17, 19, 21, 23, 25. Okay, I have reached up to 25 seconds, being very lucky, absolutely a madness lucky. So it's what it is. Okay, and Surrender to Madness, they have changed this spell again. I must say I will miss the BFA version because I used it in PvP. It was great against melees. I remember all those demon hunters saying, "Oh, a Shadow Priest, free honor," and then this Shadow Priest, which was me, using Surrender. I guess, oh yeah, you say that. Okay, Surrender to Madness. I begin to cast while I'm moving, and I use a lot of Mind Flays and reduce your velocity. And from when you want to take a look at your life, you are dead. Then of course I will have to be careful because dispersion. I had to use dispersion to avoid to kill myself with the damage that the BFA version of Run to Madness does, but I was very happy to have that talent. Now that has come to an end. This talent is now absolutely unusable in PvP in whatever you want to do. Okay, that's not the name. Now what this does? Well, it activates Void Form. It does the same damage as Void Eruption as it did before, and for the next 25 seconds our insanity generating abilities generate 100% more insanity, and we can cast while moving, and we have an extra Void Form, okay, which is very important. If the target does not die within those 25 seconds of using Surrender to Madness, we die. So we have a kind of mixture between the original Surrender to Madness and some new thing that we have now. Okay, when are we going to use this talent? In fights with a lot of ads that will die quickly, and in Mythic Plus. This is the best talent for Mythic Plus by a very long distance. Okay, it's not very good for bosses, but for Mythic Plus is the one who gives more damage. Okay, problem with this, you have to have a lot of hands and and a good connection. Okay, if you have latency, you are going to have several problems, but it's really the best talent in this row for Mythic Plus by far, no doubt, no, not a single doubt about it. So how are we going to use these talents? Hungry Void, evidently single target. If we have a single target fight, we are going to pick this one. It can be used for multi-target. Probably yes, but we will have to keep our damage in only one, or at least our void bolts in only one of the bosses. Okay, only in one of the mobs, but it's useful. Okay, is the best for that? I'm not really sure. Probably Ancient Madness is better for fights with 2-3 bosses than Hungry Void, but I have not seen the numbers yet, or I'm not sure of the numbers yet, so I'm going to keep it in, okay, these two for several targets, and Hungry Void for single target. Surrender to Madness for fights with a lot of mobs, and Ancient Madness. When are we going to use Ancient Madness? Okay, PvP for sure. I don't think you have any doubt about it. It's going to be very used. Then when we have a phase we have to burn it, absolutely we are going to use it again. Ancient Madness is the best. We activate our Void Eruption, have 50% of critical damage, boom 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 boom. No doubt, if we have to burn something or burn an ad or whatever, Ancient Madness is the best. And then maybe in fights with 2, 3, 4 bosses, okay, in which Hungry Void is not really the best of the best. It's good, but it's not the best of the best. Okay, these are the cases in which we are going to use Ancient Madness. And that's it for the challenge. We keep stats. Stats for Shadow Priest are how to say it, are a mess. Okay, are a good and nice mess. If you remember, now secondary stats have diminishing returns, which means that when we reach a threshold, well, each point of that stat will give us less percent of that stat. So our best stat is going to be haste by a long term. It may be going to the threshold of 55% of haste instead of 25% if we want to change from haste as main to another stat. Okay, and then which one is going to be our second best stat? Well, right now, okay, the numbers show up that mastery is probably our second best secondary stat, but mastery has a curious issue, because the diminishing returns does not start at 25% but at 12.5%. which means we will want haste up to 25, maybe 35, then mastery up to 12.5, and once we reach mastery, then we will have critical strike up to 25, and then versatility up to 25. And once then we begin the raid again, but mastery, instead of want to reach 55% as the others, we will want to reach 13.5%. 13.5%, have I said is right? No, I don't think so. I'm not sure. 35, more like 18.5%. Okay, more like that. And 18.5% we want to critical strike and then to versatility. And critical strike and versatility are very near. Okay, mastery is very near also of the other two. So it's not really, if you have a piece with haste and critical strike, it's not really bad, okay, or with versatility, it's not really a bad piece, okay, as long as it has haste, you have no problem. So that is the stat problem. Anyway, this has been this video. This has been very long, I know, but there was a lot of things to do, a lot of things to show you, a lot of things to talk about, a lot of changes. So I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope that it will be useful to you both for pre-patch and for Shadowlands expansion. Remember, I will do another video like this talking about covenants, soulbinds, conduits, and legendaries just the week before Shadowlands launches, whenever it is. And we don't know when it is. So in that week I will record those videos, so I'm sure to have all the changes they are doing to conduit, to legendaries, to abilities, to covenant abilities, and make a video with the last build possible and the last changes possible before Shadowlands. That's it. I hope you have a nice day, have fun, and see you in the next video, whenever it is.